Hi there YouTube and viewers, and welcome to this week's Earth Watch or Planet Watch using Carl Jung's Psi cards. This week is from March the 19th, taking us through to March the 26th, 2012. Now, just before we go in to discuss the cards that you're viewing in front of you there, I just want to go over last week's and do a slight review on them. Now, last week we had the prison, the skills, the no, the now, and the libido cards come out. And at the time, I think I made comment about the fact that there would be a flurry of energy, and it could be related to the sun, because the now has a sun picture on it, and the libido card is a very strong energy card, like a flurry of wild energy, and it's also a spiritual card which I associated with and tied into the sun. So last week we had 3 earthquakes in Japan, which I think were over 6, and some of them were quite strong and one of them actually created a tsunami. And I believe it was only 50 centimeters in height, which we're all very grateful for because no great damage was done. However, I can imagine for the Japanese people it was a very turbulent week. They had only just finished a memorial services and their quiet contemplative thinking in regards to the tsunami from the previous year that was on March the 11th. So that would have been a pretty tough week for them all. Australia has tropical cyclone Lua bashing down on its Queensland coast right at the moment, with a very severe weather pattern going on there and predicted damage and lots of flooding. There were also many solar flares. Very active week last week. I think Sunspot 1432, if I've got that correct, produced 2 M-class flares, and there was some rather strange filament activity and movements during the week as well. There was also a couple of volcano and earthquake watches put in place from some of the YouTube users that believe in that particular paradigm of thinking, which I happen to believe in. So it was a very active week to do with the sun, as it turns out, and there were some real flurry of sudden energies around the earth. So again, the cards seem to play out. Now, coming to this week's cards, we see here the Voyage, Union, the Tower, the Body, and Money. So if we start over here on the left, this card here, the Voyage, indicates to me straight away the sea. Obviously it's pretty easy to read that one, and a boat on it. So that card immediately is telling me about bodies of water on the planet. As opposed to specifically rain, I'm thinking of something to do with our oceans, or the water that's already on the planet as opposed to coming down onto the planet. The card next to it, the Union card, in a normal reading this card is considered to be quite a positive card, but again I've changed all the meanings to do with these earth readings. The cards are taking on a whole different meaning and a whole different life when you deal them out for this particular type of reading that we're doing here. So the Union card, again, I don't particularly look at it as a positive card, but what I do look at it is, again, it's got water on it. So it's associated with some form of water, and that looks more like a waterfall, so rain or water coming down, but I think it's attached to the card on the left, so I'm thinking still we're talking about water on the planet. Seas or oceans, that's something along those lines, or rivers, mud flows, even something like that. This card here, the Tower, when people get that in a reading, they go, oh wow, that's a really cool card, look at that lovely big home sitting up there, it looks really neat. But in fact the Tower card, it's, when I do a reading for it, I quite often think that's an indication of people who haven't done their homework on a subject. Like they've gone in without, they've got blinkers on, they're not looking at everything, because this is a home that's completely unprotected, there's no protection around it. So it's a card of sort of arrogance or folly. You haven't thought things out properly. Now in the situation of this earth reading, I'm thinking, does it mean go to high ground? That's the feeling I get most from there, that you will be safe and everything's still standing in one place on high ground. I haven't quite worked the Tower one out yet, and I'll have to do a bit more thinking on it. Now number 6, the Body card. I don't like this card, I've never liked it. I just find it really unpleasant to look at. I don't know if you can see it very well from that distance there. It's the picture of a human body, but all just muscle and sinew and blood, and it's, to me, it usually, even in a private reading, it indicates something about your health is going to come up. It suggests something's not quite right. And in the Earth Watch reading that we're doing here, I'm just thinking it has to do with humans, and it's not a very good card. I would be saying a loss of life somewhere, to do with something that will relate with activity about this reading that's tied into the sea. Now the money card, even in a normal reading, it always suggests, look, there's a lot of hard work around, the money's not coming to the surface very easily. I'm viewing this card to mean the earth, the actual soil, so something about the land on our earth. So if we combine all those together, we've got water and soil, and possibly some, some injuries or something with people. So I'm thinking movement, some sort of movement. Could it be an earthquake, or could it be a volcano that erupts and we get a mudslide or a lava flow or something from that? I'm thinking it's along those lines. So anyone who's got any other ideas, I'm always really keen to hear them. Just write them down below the video, write some comments down. All communication and talking about these things is all learning. We learn along the way, and it's all quite interesting. In the guided angel reading for this week, which I'll get round to doing a little bit later, one of the cards that came out for that, and I sort of tie in the two readings too to see if there's any similarities with the cards or any messages that I can cross over from one another. This card did come out for the guided angel reading for this week, which is a beautiful card. Ground yourself, look at all the lovely flowers and springtime there by the looks. So northern hemisphere, all beautiful flowers all around, but the card again is reminding me it's about earth. So ground yourself, you couldn't get much more of a message than to do with the earth. So we'll see what's going on, guys. We'll just watch and wait, I guess, and see what the cards, how accurate they are this week for the week coming up, which, as we said before, is March the 19th through to the 26th. So that's about all for this week. Have a great one, everyone. Take care, be happy, have a bit of fun, be safe. See you all later.